Okay, thank you, and once again, very good morning to everyone here. The 6.3 individual liabilities, it says the government accepts in part the recommendations of the Commission in respect of the individual liabilities as captured at paragraph 8.3 on page 58 of the report. The government makes the following comments on the recommendations regarding individual liabilities by the Commission. A. The government takes note of the Commission's recommendations that Mr. Ernest Akomia, alias Double, must be prosecuted for the unauthorized possession of firearms under subsection 1 of section 192 of the Criminal Offences Act 1960, Act 29, and refers that recommendation to the Criminal Investigation Department of the Ghana Police Service for further investigations. B. The government does not accept the Commission's recommendations that Mohammed Suleimana must be prosecuted for the offence of assault, to wit the slapping of the Honourable Member of Parliament, Mr. Samuel Nate George, on the basis that the Commission, at paragraph 6.1 and 6.2 on page 55 of the report, accepted the facts which led to the said assault on the Honourable Member of Parliament, Mr. Samuel Nate George, which facts support a valid defence of provocation for the said assault. C. Right. It goes on and on. I mean, it goes all the way to...
Yes,
but it establishes the fact that there are individual liabilities. It goes on to talk about... in C, it talks about referring the Commission's recommendation in 8.3.3 on page 58 on the IGP for its consideration and all of that. Look, let me start by saying that I've listened to the entire conversation, and Mr. Mo has been very candid. The Peace Council, from his rendition to us, and it's a position I've held previously, adds no value to our political discourse.
Adds no value?
Absolutely no value. The Peace Council is a drain on the public purse and should be disbanded. It serves no purpose. Because the Peace Council, per what Mr. Mo himself has said to us, has no powers to enforce peace. The Peace Council is one that issues press conferences as and when they will, especially during election seasons, goes to sleep for another 3.5 years, wakes up 3 months to an election and starts issuing press statements again. The Peace Council in itself, or on its own, through Mr. Mo, has admitted that they have failed in the past. When institutions fail, we disband them. I mean, when they fail to live up to their expectations and mandate, I mean, you disband them. And let's set this whole conversation in context. The NDC did not invite the Peace Council. In fact, the national chairman of the NDC was literally ambushed because he got a letter, and I'm stating this on the record. Mr. Sidney Ketia got a letter requesting audience from the Peace Council. He shows up at the meeting in his office, and the Peace Council is there with a plethora of media people. He was absolutely not informed that the media was even going to be present.
He wasn't informed?
Absolutely not. So he tells them that, but you are coming to my house. You have requested for a meeting with me. You are coming to my house. You don't tell me you are coming with media. If you even wanted the media here, I should be arranging the media. It's my house. I set the rules. Then they say, okay, then we'll let the media go. They say, oh, don't worry. Let the media stay. There is nothing I will say indoors that I can't say outdoor. And goes ahead to set the Peace Council right. But, I mean, this is the level of ambush. And if the Peace Council was really minded and interested in dealing with the peace of our country, I don't think the Peace Council should be starting with the NDC. First and foremost, the NDC has not led or occasioned the killing of 8 Ghanaian citizens. The NDC has not supervised and led the maiming and killing of persons in a by-election. The NDC has not had its members make mindless effusions and hallucinations that can only come from heavily deluded minds. The NDC has not done any of those. There's only one political party in our country today that's beating the drums of war, that has gone ahead to exact violence on innocent Ghanaian citizens, the MPP. And they have not gone to the MPP. They've come. So it's like you have two people and standing there. One is provoking and attacking the other person. And you're not stopping the agent provocateur. What you're doing is attacking the peaceful person who is being attacked and telling him, you don't worry, just hold your hands. I mean, the Peace Council should at least credit Ghanaians with some level of intelligence. You know, I've seen a lot of messages on my phone since the introductions were done where people have drawn my attention, and even I raised it when I arrived, that my former boss, Honorable Yabuabing, was on your platform earlier this week and said I lied at the commission. I'll be grateful if he states for the public what lie I told at the commission when I appeared before the commission, so that we set the record straight. But
at the commission,
or wherever.
My remarks about your attitude and conduct during the actual event, not at the commission. I didn't say you lied. That if you
and commissions, well, we will come to that. We'll come to that. But I'll be grateful to know what it is that you said I lie about, and we'll settle. But I dealt with all the issues before the commission. In fact, media pundits have stated that of all the persons who appeared before the commission, I was the most coherent and the most believable. Because if you followed my testimony compared to what others came to do there, the facts were straight. But look, you have a government that presided over the dastardly acts at Ayawaso West Wagon. Just 3 weeks ago, I visited with the family of Ishao Yaro because his mother had passed. Ishao Yaro was on his way to Europe to go and earn living for his family as a footballer. He had been invited for trials. After almost 12 surgeries, his leg, he still can't walk on it. And the individuals who perpetrated such heinous crime are still walking around and being paid with our taxes. Because President Akufo-Addo and Brian Champong, absolutely. Because President Akufo-Addo and Brian Champong, who oversaw that, have sat quietly and continued to proceed and go ahead with carrying out what was a test run in Ayawaso West Wagon. In Ayawaso West Wagon, they maimed, hurt, and assaulted. A few months down the line, because the Peace Council failed in its job to ensure that, look, justice was delivered, what did you see? You saw the killing of 8 people. What did the Peace Council do apart from issuing statements calling for peace and prosecution? It was about calling for peace and prosecution. We don't need a Peace Council.
What can the Peace Council do, or what could they have done beyond
that? If they can't do anything beyond that, then it's, for want of a better, and I don't want to call them useless, but then they have no use. They have no use to this country.
They have a mandate.
What's their mandate? To issue press statements? Is that what it is? And come and call on the people who are victims? And when Mr. Amo talks about the Peace Council's success, he says that they went to visit with the victims in Techiman and the victims in Ododorio. The victims don't need your visits. They want justice. It is about justice. There can be no justice or there can be no peace without justice. So you cannot be asking us to sign to a peace pact when you are not demanding justice for the people. You sit and drink tea with the president. You go to meetings with the president and you don't chastise the president. Show me a message of the Peace Council chastising the president. The president is commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces. It is not vigilantes from anywhere. It is men in Ghana Armed Forces uniform. 7 members of the armed forces are noble armed forces. Whether they were put in there as hoodlums by the president and his henchmen or whatever.
So are you saying NSA double is still serving?
Oh, have you seen anything moving double from national security?
Samuel Kojo Azugu still serving?
Absolutely. Mohammed Suleimana. And when you read that recommendation, I mean, the fact that the MPP touts itself as a party of lawyers. And lawyer YB had been in the MPP for a very long time, but he's a senior lawyer. But now he's no longer in the MPP. But you see, he will tell you that there is nowhere in our legal jurisprudence where provocation is a defense for assault.
Dr. Amma will tell you.
Provocation cannot, in our legal jurisprudence, provocation is not a valid defense for assault. Yet our Attorney General wrote that and gleefully spelled that out. But you see, that tells you where we sit as a country. That we sit as a country where, when Brian Champong made the comment about we will not hand over power, we will not hand over power, he's not made that comment once. The first time he made that comment, I said to him that, look, Brian, you can choose to make such reckless comments, but bear in mind that the cost of a gallon of fuel and a box of matches is not that expensive. You may have the money to train mercenaries and visit harm on people, but know that you cannot run away. Brian has moved his children out of school in Ghana and sent his children outside because he thinks he's going to run away with his family. But tell Brian that wherever his children are, they are not away from the reach of anybody. Because you see, we need to let people know We
Yes,
are
let's come
on
back.
the issue of peace.
Indeed.
You see,
Let's
I speak
come
with
back.
passion because Brian was the one who orchestrated those attacks on myself and the people in our West Wagon. And today, that same person has been rewarded by President Akufo-Addo with a cabinet ministry position. So you see, when the Peace Council sits down and allows such injustice to go on in the country, and then you turn around and come to tell us that we should sign some peace. Look, I said I was charitable to them. If they had come to me with a peace agreement, I would have torn it and thrown it at them.
This is their mandate to manage, resolve, and prevent conflict.
Would Mr. Amo be talking about peace
peace
if his child was one of the 8 people who were killed by hoodlums in Ghana Armed Forces uniform on the instructions of the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces? Would Mr. Amo be talking about a peace contract or demanding justice? Would the people who sit at the Peace Council, the so-called Peace Council, would any of them, if any of their family members were killed were hurt in Ayawaso West Wagon, if any of their family members were killed, look, Chief, I have met the people who were victims of Ayawaso West Wagon. I have met the families whose children were killed. Their only crime was that they went to exercise a constitutional franchise that they have to vote for a candidate of their choice. They were shot and killed point blank. Look, we're sitting here in this country, and today, the same person who orchestrated Ayawaso West Wagon, the same person who we are told is training people in the eastern region.
Do you have any evidence to that effect?
Today,
we don't know that.
Has he come out to deny it?
We cannot associate ourselves with that.
But you see, I don't blame Brian. I don't blame Brian. Brian will behave the way he's behaving because you have a reckless and irresponsible president. No, listen.
Hold on.
Alfred, when everybody was talking, you made them make their points.
I'm asking him not to interject.
Okay. Listen,
make your point.
And the point I'm making is this. Brian will be emboldened to make his reckless comments because you have an irresponsible president at the helm of affairs.
Why would you describe him as that? No,
if the president was not irresponsible, look, it is the height of irresponsibility. Wait, listen. No.
Mr. George, why would you say that?
How different is irresponsible from incompetent? They called Mahama incompetent. If the president is being irresponsible, the president. I'll tell you.
Really?
The president. Let me tell you. The president is Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, ultimate commander of Ghana's noble armed forces. Men wearing armed forces uniform went and killed 8 citizens under his watch. The president had been touted to us and sold to us, wrongfully so, as a defender of civil liberties and human rights. Why those 8 citizens don't have liberties and human rights? Has the president even acknowledged the death of the 8 people? The president has addressed this nation, 4 times. 4 times in Parliament. I've sat in Parliament with you 4 times for the president to come and do the State of the Nation's address. Since 8 citizens were killed, the president has not acknowledged the death of the 8 citizens. Is that responsible or irresponsible leadership? The president has overseen. The president was president when Ayawaso West Wagon happened. What has the president said about the findings of Ayawaso West Wagon post the white paper? The president is the first person to go and stand on a political party platform and say, me hand over there, me for power man.
Mahama says those are aspirational statements. Those are
hallucinations of a disturbed and deluded mind.
Seated by you.
Those are hallucinations of a disturbed and deluded mind. Because it is only a deluded mind who will say that they will not hand over power when the Ghanaian people take power. Look, listen, Alfred, nobody should think that Ghana belongs to them. President Akufo-Addo has enjoyed the largesse of this state for 8 years. He will hand over power when the Ghanaian people vote. Listen, when President Rawlings, even President Rawlings, he handed over to President Kufuor. No, I said I didn't call him. I said his rantings are the effusions of a deluded mind.
Mr. George, hold on. Gentlemen.
Don't do that.
Oh, you think today is cutting you, eh?
Gentlemen.
Don't do that.
Gentlemen.
You guys
do not do
gentlemen,
that. How can you describe
there was
president
a specific question that I asked.
Because he's behaving in such manner.
Hold on.
How?
He's behaving in such manner.
Gentlemen.
What do you seek to achieve when you do
Prince
that?
I'm not talking. Prince is the one talking.
No.
Now, there was a specific statement that was made earlier. I asked questions about exactly what you meant by that.
Yes.
Now, because of the expression
Yes.
And I wanted the context in which you
Yes.
made that statement.
Yes.
You have explained
Yes.
that context.
Yes.
It is the expression that was used that I have issues and concerns with. Did you make a specific reference to the president having a delusional mind or
I said
on that?
the president.
No, I want that to be.
Yes, so
to be
I'm answering you.
yes.
You've asked me a question.
Yes.
I said the president's comments are hallucinatory, and they are effusions. They are mindless effusions of a deluded
You
mind.
are describing
And
the comment.
Yes, I said the president's comments. His comments that he will not hand over power to Mahama, even if the people of Ghana votes to him, are hallucinatory. Because if you are not hallucinating, you cannot say that the people of Ghana will vote. They will vote for someone, and then you will say that I will not hand over power to that person. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Who does the president think he is? That when the Ghanaian people vote for someone,
Would you disagree with that position?
And I say, and I repeat again, that they are mindless effusions of a deluded mind.
So in effect, you disagree with that position?
Absolutely, very strongly, and state that the president needs to wake up and smell the coffee and know that even President Rawlings handed over to President Kufuor, and that President Kufuor handed over to Professor Mills, and that John Mahama handed over to him, and that he will hand over to someone who the Ghanaian people choose. Hopefully, John Dramani Mahama.
You're saying the same thing that
he's talking about.
So when the president, if the president is not making, if his comments were not those of a deluded mind, he will not stand anywhere and say he won't hand over power.
But Sam George, I don't want you to repeat that or make that reference.
Why?
Respectfully.
Why? It is deluded minds that make such claims.
You have made your point
yes.
without even having to make that reference.
Oh, no. It's important that we put it in context.
In
Listen,
that particular
Alfred,
situation.
Alfred, you see, let me tell you something. It is all of this reckless commentary coming from people who ought to know better that leads a country to the precipice where, if you are not careful, disaster happens and you cannot return from. And you see, it is trying to manage and placate the egos, overblown egos of people that have led countries down the drain. Because people feel that, oh, let's not say this about the president. Let's not say this about the minister.
It's not about the person.
It's about the comments the person is making.
It's about the office.
But if the occupant of the office, is behaving in a manner,
is it not?
No, listen. And I have utmost respect for the office of the president. But if the occupant of that office is not conducting himself in a manner, listen, let me tell you something. President Kufuor, I may not agree with him and his politics, but I respect him for one thing. On the 3rd of January, was it 3rd of January or 31st December 2008, eve of New Year, he addressed the nation. And he said, and that was when we're going to time. It was a razor-thin thing, razor-thin. In fact, that's the closest election in Ghana's history. President Kufuor said, go to time, EC, hold the elections. I will hand over on the 7th of January to whoever the people elect. Like him or hate him, he's a Democrat. He respected the principles of democracy. A man who has benefited from that process of democracy today says that if the people democratically elect someone who is not his choice, he won't hand over to. And you think that we should clap and respect such a person? You think that we should clap and sing songs and placate and massage the over-bloated egos of such people?
The Peace Council is saying that these conditions you're asking them for, some of them are outside of their mandate. So what do?
So then they should shut up shop and go home. They should close shop, go home. And leave us, they should close shop, go home. Because if the Peace Council has no room or power to take care of those things, then they cannot be asking us to commit to something that they can't enforce. We signed a peace pact in 2020, did we not? Did the Peace Council not bring a peace agreement for the NDC to sign? Did we not sign it? We signed it, I think, in the presence of Otum for Asante Hene. True or false?
True.
We signed the peace pact in 2020. In 2020, we went to Kumasi and signed a peace pact. No, 2020
happened in Movenpick.
In Movenpick, okay, fine. But we signed the peace pact in 2020. Good. What was the peace pact about? That we signed. That the elections will be peaceful. That they will be free and fair. The Electoral Commission announced 6 different results. Did that look like a free and fair election? 8 people were killed. What has the Peace Council done about it? So if we sign that peace pact, and it could not protect citizens, and it could not seek justice for the citizens, it could not hold people accountable for their failures and inactions, you've come back again to us that we should sign another one, and you expect us. If the national executives of the NDC sign a peace pact, some of us will lead a revolt against them within the party. Because it then means that our leadership is not caring and thinking about the rank and file of our party. But I'm glad that I trust the leadership of Asedu Nketia, and he's made it clear we will not sign. If they don't meet those demands, they shouldn't come to us with any peace pact. We don't need any peace pact. We would carry out the election in our own manner. We would defend our people at the ballot boxes. We will defend the will of the people, and let notice be hereby served to President Akufo-Addo, Brian Champong, and every one of those who think that Ghana belongs to them. Ghana does not belong to them. And the will of the Ghanaian people will be enforced and protected at the ballot box at all costs.